Hey, herpers, herpetologists, and everyone else. I know I have one red eye. I don't know what happened. It's been bothering me all day, been itchy and red and watery. Anyways, so I've recently acquired this is a really delicate story because there's a lot of unknowns in the equation, but I'm going to kind of start from scratch here. I set this monitor up yesterday. It's a rescue Savannah monitor lizard. So it's interesting enough. They've been in captivity for quite some time now. I remember when I was a kid, you were able to purchase them at reptile shops, etc., expos, shows. So for some reason, there's still a lot of controversy on the care for them. So I'm going to do the best that I know to do, which I think is probably pretty decent, considering my mentor, who's been in the reptile industry for a long time. He's given his life to it, and he's kind of gave me a lot of guidance over the past 5 years or so on keeping all my reptiles, and it's all been, you know, it's all been very successful guidance from him. He's always, gotten me out of bad situations with my animals if they're acting funny or having health issues. So, anyways, here's the new edition. Typically, on a monitor enclosure or a big lizard enclosure, you would definitely want to secure it much better than what this enclosure has, which is literally no latch. It just has hinges on the back, opens on half of it. I kind of built this wooden frame. There's some hardware cloth on part of it. So I've just got a little tiny shallow water dish, and I'll get into all the reasons of why I've set this animal up this way. And we're going to have a little exciting moment because I've never fed this animal. All I know is that this lizard is at least 13 years old. So I think that it has metabolic bone disease. I think that it's quite small for a 13-year-old Savannah monitor. But ironically enough, this lizard has lived over twice as long as I've ever known any other Savannah monitor to live. And I have no idea why that is. And that's why this is a delicate story. So obviously, for it to have lived this long, somebody did something right. But in my opinion, you could see the kind of the joints on his hand and stuff are a little out of whack. So that's why I assume it's got metabolic, which usually means it didn't have the proper diet or proper lighting for part of its life. So, and then right down here in this little dish, I have 3 little ground turkey balls. So I just get a pack of ground turkey from a grocery store, and I add a fair amount of supplement powder for reptiles. So, like anything with vitamin D3 and calcium in it. So, I'm going to try to feed it its first meal with me. I have no idea if it is going to take this ground turkey, but in my experience, I'm going to go ahead and assume that this monitor is going to flick its tongue when I put this ground turkey near its snout, and it's going to take it no problem because they love it. As I've stated, it doesn't really move around, very well because I think of its metabolic bone disease. So that's why I put kind of flatter pieces of wood, nothing too crazy for it to have to climb up and over. I do want it to have some kind of enrichment, which is why I did put these two pieces of driftwood. Well, one's a piece of driftwood, one's a piece of cypress, I guess. So here goes. I am going to try to feed this monitor its first meal with me. And let's see if my prediction's accurate as far as it being a monitor and flicking its tongue and eating its first meal with me, which is this ground turkey. Hey. Oh, yeah, you like the ground turkey, don't you? Okay. So, I think this is a pretty new food item for this animal. It's probably got to kind of figure it out. It's definitely a different texture than most foods they would naturally eat, or even in captivity what they sometimes eat. I also forgot to mention this lizard is blind in both eyes. I think it's blind as a bat and can't see anything. Get a little close up. You can kind of see the cataracts in its eyes, but it seems to be enjoying that ground turkey. It sure is making a mess though, so it's kind of hard to reach back there in that corner, so I'll have to take that pair of tongs hanging. I'm sorry, not tongs, hemostats, and get like a paper towel with some vinegar water and, you know, clean that surface and get all that ground turkey. You see he smeared all over the glass there. But that is a problem for another time, and one that you all don't have to deal with. So you all get to just sit back and enjoy the show. I get to do all the work, which is completely worth it for me. I really hope that you all enjoy my videos, and I will give you updates on this monitor and let you know how it does. I hope it does well in my care. I'm going to do everything in my power to give it a good life. I figure worst case scenario, hopefully it'll live at least a year or two with me, and it'll have 2 summers in Florida where it can walk outside and enjoy some natural UVB rays and some nice soft grass. So hopefully I'll be able to take it out and do all that stuff. I was hoping this monitor would climb up over this branch so I could feed it more pieces of the ground turkey. So you all could enjoy this poor old Savannah monitor eating. I'm glad that I got a hold of it, because if it went to somebody else, there's no guarantee that they would put the time in and try to give this animal a good last portion of its life. Look at the ground turkey all over its nose. Hey, I know you can't see me, but you can smell me. Here. Here. Nope. Okay. There you go. Do you not like the ground turkey anymore? It's right there. You're smelling it. It's right in front of you. Oh boy. This is gonna prove to be pretty challenging, I see. So I'll take the time with this animal and try to get it eating well and give you all updates. I actually hope that you see it's turning around right now, or it's trying to maybe. I'm hoping it'll just find that dish and eat it right out of the dish, which will completely void me having to use the tongs to feed it. So with it eating out of a dish, that would just be really convenient, because then I could just set food in there when it needs to eat and then wash the dish later. So anyways, so that's a new addition, and it looks like it's working its way to turning around. I think it's curious. I think it hears my voice and it's kind of wanting to figure out what's going on, but it kind of can't because it can't see. So I haven't come up with a name yet. I wasn't told a name that it had, if it had one, but that's that. I will give you all updates on this animal and let you know how it does now that you know the story and the background. And signing out, Nate's Nature Notes.